You're an enemy of society. You have been bound, gagged, and now you're being tied to a stake that is being prepared to burn you. You're only 28 years old, but somebody has found that you are guilty of being a witch. There's no appeal process, there's no court, there probably isn't even any proof at all. Someone's God found you guilty of a sin that you may not even believe exists in the first place. I'm not here today to argue if gods do or do not exist. I'm here to show you or provide you with information that could show you the harm that religion has done across the span of time, and hopefully, maybe one day, how we can shed this fear in order to progress our species. We will begin by reviewing where religion came from and the purpose that it served. Well, there's too many religions to even begin to start counting off. Even today there are thousands just in Christianity alone. And in old times, cultures may have died off without even recording their beliefs or their gods. There are three types of religions, though. There's polytheism, pantheism, and monotheism. Polytheism is the belief in many gods. Pantheism is the belief that God exists in everything. And monotheism is the belief in one God and one God alone. Some belief systems have a recorded history, and some don't. But religion was created by, the first religion was created by early man in order to satisfy his curiosity and give answers in a harsh and brutal, unforgiving world. But as man evolved, their gods did as well. And one example of this would be Ra. He's one of the older recorded gods, and he was the sun, he would travel across the sky, die at night, and go fight, only to be reborn again in the morning. And then the people would rejoice. And an example of the more advanced gods would be Jesus and Yahweh of the Bible. And Homer's Iliad had many gods in there, and they came up with very complex stories. Now that we've covered the origins of religion, we've tapped a little bit on the origins of religion, we'll look at what harm religion did in the past in our history. So long after the nomadic man came and gone, we started to become more civilized. We started farming, we started building societies, and the gods passed down the laws, and they had all the answers, and they would pass down their laws and answers to problems through clerics or priests or rabbis or whatever there was in that particular society. And sacrifices were not uncommon, of all kinds, not just human, but animal and plant. And they were used to pray for power, pray for rain, or something of that nature. And whenever two cultures would come into contact, another example of this harm would be they didn't always have the live or let live attitude. I would say that was actually very rare. What would happen is they would go to war because they had different conflicting ideologies. Their gods said that it must be done this way. And typically, the conquered would either adapt the new belief system or die. Well, now that we barely touched the problems of religions in the past, we will see what harm religion has done and is still doing in present-day Earth now. According to the U.S. Religious Landscape Survey, 78.4% of Americans are some sort of Christian. Christianity, according to adherents.com, takes up 33% of the world. So in America, we have the problem of the majority creating the laws, which is spawned from religious views, such as gays can't marry, abortion, you can't hold office unless you believe in a God, things of this nature. There are plenty. But 21% of the world is Islam. And Islam is another type, or another example of religion, and they have Sharia law that is enforced by Muslim fundamentalists. And what that does is, it's a very barbaric, old school, it was created in the 3rd century by Muslim fundamentalist laws that are still in effect today in certain parts of the world. What really takes a hit is science and education in the present day world, because the gods push us back and there's no need for them. We are good to go. We have all the answers. So what are we even looking for? Well, now that we've covered the harms of religion in the present day, I will close by summarizing religion and its harms across a span of time. Religion was created for answers by early man. Religion turned out to be a catalyst in the past for strife, division, and harm between all peoples. Religion still serves as that catalyst today. So, my solution to it, to the problems that we have, is we need more emphasis on skepticism. And hopefully that will pique our curiosity and we could question our surroundings and think about our decisions and our beliefs and how they impact us and other people. And we can find out the real answers. If not, we may not progress. We may deadlock and we may get conquered, or the world may end at the hands of a fundamentalist with his ideology. But ultimately, the choice is up to us.